Good evening. I'd like to call the Public Works Committee of Tuesday, November 8th, 2022 to order. Roll call, please.
Alderman Michael Kane.
Here.
Alicia Ford.
Present.
Bob Iverson.
Here.
Jim Pichard.
Here.
Carolyn Wands. Heidi Wilson. Mike Poor.
Present.
5 present.
By present, let the minutes reflect that Alderman Wands is on vacation and Alderman Wilson is out with some medical issues. Item number 2, we have the minutes to approve from October 11th, 2022. If there's no corrections, need a motion to approve that, please.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Item number 3 is to approve the agenda. There is nothing to remove, and so need a motion to approve the agenda, please.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, item number 4, reserved for audience comments. Madam Clerk, do we have any?
No, I don't have any cards. Did anyone wish to speak this evening? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Chairman's comments, I'll just say, I hope everybody had a chance to vote today. And unfortunately, we won't know some of the results for a week to 10 days on some of the states, but hope everybody exercised their right. Moving on, we do have the payrolls. Those will be payrolls from November 4th, 2022. Need a motion to put those on the table, please?
So move.
Second.
Okay, questions on the payrolls? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Pichard.
Present.
Wands. Wilson. O'Kane.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Poor.
Yes.
5 yes.
Yes, thank you. Item number 7, we have several vouchers payable. We do have a special run of November the 2nd, a special run of November the 3rd, November the 7th, a special run, and November 8th, the regular run. The November 7th run was sent out yesterday in a separate email. It wasn't included in this packet that was already put on the website, but it was sent out yesterday as an addition. So need a motion to put that on the table, please.
So move.
Second.
Okay, questions?
I don't think I got it.
Yeah, Mike, it's go in your Dropbox.
I went to Outlook.
Yesterday.
It did go to Outlook?
Yeah, I got mine on Outlook.
Yeah, special run, November 7th. It was sent yesterday in your regular city email.
What was it for?
Special run, November 7th.
But you don't know what,
Oh, yeah, I can tell you. Solid waste, 7155, and capital improvements, 130, total 137, 155.
You want to see a hard copy?
not for that amount.
That was for the dump truck, if you need to know.
Oh, yeah, okay. Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Wands. Wilson. O'Kane.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Pichard.
Yes.
Poor.
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. Moving on to item number 8, we have Finance Comptroller Massey. 8A is a resolution authorizing a budget amendment to the fiscal year 2022-2023 finance budget, hotel motel tax contingency. Need a motion to put that on the table, please.
So move.
Second.
Okay, questions on 8A?
Mike?
Yes.
As people read this, it gets confusing. What this was is, as I understand it, Azar made these recommendations, so we ended up with additional money to the hotel motel. And this part is we amending the amount of money that we're paying them
Right.
to find us more money. Okay.
Yeah, we're the recipients of all the money, and then we disperse it to the various entities that are named in the ordinance.
And instead of doing estimates on what we would be paying as of our over the year, instead we don't budget anything through the budget process, and typically quarterly as they bill us, we look at the revenues we've now received that we didn't budget for and amend the expense that we didn't budget for. So we only add it as we go on.
So we gained 176, almost 177,000, and the fees were 80,000, so we had a net of almost 100,000 additional revenue that, just from having those folks look at it.
Yeah, and this one, they found us 6,700 and it cost us 3,000.
Yeah.
Right.
For sales tax, we're paying, I think it's the 30th through the 32nd payment, and we're in contract with them for 36 months. So this next invoice on sales tax should be the last.
Okay. I guess I should have taken A and B together since they're both dealing with the same thing.
You could.
Can we add B onto that too, since
Yes.
it's all the same? Okay.
Would you Chairman would entertain a motion to add B to the resolution.
Since I made the original motion, I'll change it to add the second.
You'll
Okay.
you'll amend it?
Yeah,
Okay.
and you were the second.
Second.
Okay. Okay, so A, we'll be voting on A and B, both dealing with, as we're on things on sales tax and hotel motel tax and things, okay? See no other questions, roll call, please.
Alderman Wilson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes,
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands, Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 8C is a resolution authorizing an agreement for liability and workers' compensation insurance with Illinois Counties Risk Management Trust, ICRMT, through Loman Ray Insurance Group LLC Insurance. Need a motion to put that on the table, please.
So moved.
second.
Kathy, what do we need to know?
Well, good evening. Tonight, I do have Todd Harris from Loman Ray here with us. Our normal broker, Adam Grimes, is out of town right now, so he did have Todd come join us. Todd Harris is the vice president of the crop and farm part of the Loman Ray. But one of the things that there is a larger than normal increase when it comes to our work comp and liability insurance this year. It ended up kind of being a bit of a perfect storm in the sense of after 6 years, they came back this past summer and reevaluated the values of all of our buildings. That increased because of inflation and building costs. That increased our amount of our value of our buildings by over $2 million by doing that reassessment of it. The other thing is we've had some really high claims when it comes to workers' comp and liability as of late. And then the other problem is, of course, inflation. So we are looking at, there's about a $200,000 difference for the liability part of it and another $200,000 difference from the previous year for workers' comp.
Questions, Kathy? Alderman Bouchard,
Sorry.
do you have a question?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, I thought you raised your hand. So maybe 400,000 increase.
$400,000 increase from last year.
I hate to see it, but everything's,
I know.
God.
We did go out to bid last year for our work comp and liability insurance, but because of our claim experience, there were only 2 entities that actually bid. Of course, ICRMT, they did a renewal. The other one was the IML RMA. The IML RMA, though, their bid last year was still higher than what we had with ICRMT. Plus, there's a couple of things with the IML RMA that they don't cover. We don't get as high of cyber liability insurance through them like we do with ICRMT. We have $1 million policy with them, and it's because of the fact that there's only about 4 different entities who actually offer cyber liability. And so it is very difficult to get. It is very expensive. Thanks to our great IT, though, they do offer us the ability to purchase liability insurance. There are many clients and many companies that try to request it, but because of issues or problems they've had in the past, breaches in security, things of that nature, or that their IT is not up to par like ours, then unfortunately they are denied that ability to get that.
Another factor that contributed to the increase in the quote is our workers' comp insurance. They've presented us the last 4 years, 4 completed years of our work comp contribution versus claims that were paid out. In fiscal year 18, they paid out of the premium we paid them. They paid 78% of that out in claims. Fiscal year 19, 348%. So 3.5 times what we paid them for work comp, they paid out. Fiscal year 20, 137%, fiscal year 21, 103%. So the last 3 years, they have paid out more in work comp than we've paid them in premiums. So as unhappy as we are to bring this increase to you, there is justification behind it.
Questions?
What was the total increase again?
I'm sorry,
What's the total increase?
$409,422.
It was pretty much equal in both liability and work comp.
Yeah. One liability was up over $200,000, $200,707. Work comp was $208,715.
That's a 42.48% increase in liability and a 21.07% increase in workers' comp with a combined 29.98% increase across both.
Yeah.
But you said our 1 year of workers' comp was 3.5 times more than what we even paid, right?
Correct.
So actually, we probably have had a
Probably,
deal.
probably still are better off than we would have been.
Yeah, hopefully, because that's a rolling fiscal year 19, hopefully in 2 years, that 3.5x will fall off and we'll be able to get some better renewal rates.
If I
Mr.
may-
Harris, what do you want to
if I
tell
may.
us?
Well, what I wanted to say is the bright spot is that the company does offer risk management services. I think Chief Yates uses them a lot. And that is the bright spot as far as work comp goes. Even though it's gone up a lot in other areas, in the police department, it's actually gone down. And he has used that to, I think, great benefit, and it's available to all parts of the city. So I just wanted to add that too, and I'm available to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Harris? No? Okay,
Thank you.
all right, roll call, please.
Vice Chairman O'Kane,
Yes.
Alderman Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands, Wilson, Poor,
Yes,
5 yes.
I'm getting better at not answering for Alderman Ford. I'm listening for my Ps. Thank you. Okay, items of information. Just wait till toward the end, we'll do budget and tax levy. Okay, thank you. Moving on to item number 9, public transportation, Director B, items of information and the monthly report.
So for items of information, I just wanted to mention a couple of special days that we have coming up. This Friday is Veterans Day, so all of our veterans ride the buses free, and that includes the Champaign buses. So, all they have to do is show their ID card or their driver's license that has the designation on it, and they can receive a free ride. Thursday, the 24th, there will be no service in honor of Thanksgiving. And then on Friday, November 25th, when I first came to DMT, that was called our anniversary date. I don't know why. They just picked that day. They used to give out free things or whatever, but we still do give the free rides on Friday, the 25th. So that day, we will have free rides for all riders on the buses. And then the last bullet point down there, you can see that we're almost up to full staff. And there's been some discussion about maybe not adding any more to our driving team and kind of just, there are some routes that are low ridership that we probably need to just kind of back off on. And so we probably won't need another driver or two. But anyhow, we're very happy to be where we
That's a
are.
long time coming.
Yeah, now we have more drivers than buses, so that's good.
Any questions? Ridership still holding steady and everything?
Actually, If you look at the ridership report from last year, we came up 20%, a little over 20% from last year's ridership numbers, which were incredibly low, no doubt, but still, that's, any increase like that is a good increase.
Okay. Thank you, Director. Moving on to item number 10, Public Works Director Carpenter. We have 10A as a resolution authorizing the lease agreement between the City of Danville landlord and Advanced Medical Transport East Incorporated, the tenant. Need a motion, put that on the table, please.
So moved.
Is there a second?
She seconded.
Okay. Director, any?
Yeah, this is a renewal of a lease that we used to have. I'm not even sure what the original ambulance company was called that was in there. OSF had something to do with them. They had subleased it for the last year and a half to this Advanced Medical Transport. Advanced Medical Transport asked if they could continue leasing the facility, so I reworked all the numbers with increases on them. As you'll see, I did round them off. It's really hard to start calculating numbers on a percentage basis and then have 13 cents every month. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, so I rounded it off for them. They're very happy with the facility. There is talk that they are interested in building their own bigger facility in town in the future, so this is a win-win for both us and them.
Where's this located?
What's that?
This is
Station four.
It is the old
Old
fire
station,
station.
yeah,
Okay.
it's Old Station 4 out on East Main
Okay.
Street, correct.
What's that one up by Barrett's Garden Center? What's that? There's an ambulance thing sits up there too.
They don't even operate, I believe. It's
They
just,
provide
okay.
transportation, not like actual medical calls.
Okay. So we're happy with this, 3-year? Then that's regardless of whether they build their own or not, it's still they're locked into a 3-year?
well, there's an out clause for both us and them in
Okay.
here. I don't know that they could get it built in 3 years with what they've expressed to some individuals yet, so. And this is automatically renewable if they want to continue doing it as well.
Okay. Other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands, Wilson, O'Kane,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 10B is a resolution amending the contract for the bid 698 Beard Street reconstruction. Need a motion, to put that on the table.
So moved.
Second.
Okay?
All right, so this is basically approving change orders for the Beard Street reconstruction project. The bulk of this change, about $50,000 worth of it, was related to basically subgrade conditions below the pavement being different than what was experienced during core drilling and sampling of the soils ahead of time. So we ended up having to take out an extra 6 inches of soil and put rock in there, and then in certain areas, because it was so wet and just mushy, basically, we had to over excavate and put in larger rock, things like that. So basically, there were just some things that we encountered during construction that we did not anticipate, and that's where the bulk of it was. The others were some additional curb replacement and then repair to a manhole that was in worse condition than what was assumed, in the plans. So.
I like Carl's rounding off. We could have rounded that 71,9999.61 to 72. No, that was the increase in the purchase order, 71,999.61.
Oh, I see that.
Could add 39 cents to it.
Yeah. Yes.
But anyway. Questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands, Wilson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 10C is a resolution awarding the contract for the Special Service Area 2022 Maintenance Program, bid number 708. Need a motion with that on the table, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
All right. Well, basically, this is awarding a contract to a complete maintenance and repair of basically cleaning ditches, grading around the pond out by where the casino is being constructed, and lining the banks of that pond with riprap, doing a bunch of brush removal and maintenance out in the drainage ways out there. That's all located within a special service area that's specifically for drainage in that area. There's also a little bit of work that's outside of that area that's included in the project and is proposed to be funded with the stormwater drainage money, as it's north of there, up near Krupp, basically north side of the railroad tracks on Lynch Road. So
A lot of difference in bids, isn't there?
what's
A
that?
lot of difference in bids.
A lot of difference. We had
Except for one.
two of them were pretty close, and then there was three. I mean, anytime we get this time of year, we get 5 bids. We're just happy with that in general. So shows that we've got interest in our projects, and either they're hungry or we're tolerable. So either way, we'll take it.
Okay, any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Pashard,
Yes.
Wands, Wilson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 10D is a resolution approving a project services agreement for design assistance for the relocation of Dines Machine Shop to 2003 East Voorhees Street and amending the fiscal year 2022-2023 East Voorhees TIF Fund 121 budget. Need a motion to put that on the table, please.
I didn't get all that. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, I could. You want the short version?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Questions?
What are we doing?
TIF moving.
Yeah, so basically this 2003 East Voorhees is a facility that we approved an option agreement previously to basically do due diligence. We're hoping that we can relocate Dines Machine Shop to this facility. We've done some preliminary site visits with the architect and their engineers and with Dines. We think it'll work. Basically, this is approving architecture and engineering services to make sure that what we think can work will work, provide design plans, and assist with us going out to bid to get the improvements made that need to be completed in order to relocate them.
So we gonna be responsible for the pads for the machinery and stuff?
That's going to be part of the scope of this, is just do calculations to see if there are areas that we have to improve pads, things like that. So they're going to do those calculations. We haven't come to you with like a redevelopment agreement yet, or maybe that's not the right word, a relocation agreement or some agreement between Dines and us. What we expect to do is go through this process and then develop an agreement at the conclusion of this before going to construction on these improvements, so that we all know what they're committed to and what we're committed to at that point.
What's the timetable on this?
Well, I think the timetable for this is a couple months to get the design services done. Realistically, I think we're probably looking at sometime in 2023, towards the end of the year, being able to relocate them. So we still got to get the improvements made, and
And that works with the park?
it does. We can work around them, at least for the time being, so.
And our goal is Memorial Day 25?
24.
24.
Yes.
No, please don't say that, people.
Yeah.
Well,
Kelly Sands will be here with ready to string it.
we gotta spend the money by a certain date.
By
don't we?
25.
Yes. He was saying a later date than
Yeah.
what we should.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Alderman Wands, Wilson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 10E is a resolution authorizing an application to the Julius W. Hagler II Foundation to replace a fencing at Fetch Dog Park. Need a motion to put that on the table.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Carl.
These folks approached Steve Lane about this, and he researched and found out that we could apply for a grant through Julius Hagler to replace that fence. It's an old wooden fence. It is the original structure and I'm not sure how long that dog park's been there, but it's probably approaching 15 years of the minimum, but that fence is beginning to fail and rot away, and they're looking at replacing it with a chain link fence instead that would last much longer.
Everybody knows where that is? You know where the park is? Alderman
I think
Ford, do you
we
know where
get
that
bigger
park is?
sign, but, yeah. Bigger sign. I went looking for it whenever we first knew, I was aware of it. Couldn't find the turnoff because I couldn't see the sign, but that's not my main question. My main question is, this upgrading on this, is this going to cost the city X number of dollars also, or is this just going to go through the foundation?
No, this
Hopefully.
would, the total amount, which is the 69,046, would come from the Hagler Foundation.
Okay,
If it's approved.
all right.
And the fencing company would put the fence up?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't remember before if the city helped put that up or years ago.
I'm sure that the Parks Department assisted in some way.
Yeah.
It is really a nice dog park. A lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people out in Holiday Hills has dogs, and they use it frequently. And whenever I had a dog, I went there also, so it's a nice park.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Alderman Wilson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes,
Wands, Poor,
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 10F is a resolution amending the fiscal year 2022-2023 Infrastructure Development Fund 107 budget. Need a motion for that, please. Don't four of you.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay.
Y'all had me nervous there for a minute. I was like, dang, this is controversial. Anyway, this is basically, approving budget amendment so that we can purchase properties for the Kirchner redevelopment project. We've talked about it before. This is just formalizing that, we got to put the money into the line item to actually do these purchases. So
What's our timeline on that?
So we are seeking to have all properties under contract by the end of this year. Those that are not will probably have to start taking alternative methods to procure them. And then we're seeking to own them, close on the properties by, around April or May of next year so that we could clear the site the remainder of the year and hopefully transfer that over to Kirchner at the end of 2023.
So we're going Gilbert to Robinson and then Fairchild to,
It'd be Townsend, I believe it is.
Townsend, yeah.
Yes,
So that whole block, yeah.
yes.
Questions?
Anybody gonna be responsible for fencing that off and keeping the public out of there and stuff until they take over, or?
I think once
Worried
it's,
about that?
I would imagine, our goal would be to secure the properties and probably clear them as soon as possible. I think once it's cleared and leveled, we don't have the same level of concern at least. So we'll try to get it. That's one reason we really need to try to secure them all in a kind of a timely fashion so that we can go in there once, do the cleanup.
You've had several tenants move out that weren't paying.
Yes, we've made some good progress. There's, some challenges ahead, but there are in all of them, so.
Not all those are occupied either, are they? All those properties? Just-
No, I think I counted up, there's probably 6 tenants within that whole area of actual occupied structures out of 15 properties, something like that, so.
That include the squatters?
Well, I don't know about them yet, so.
Okay.
is the owners of that property working with the tenants? I know we was having an issue earlier about that.
One of the tenants who was the most vocal actually bought a home. Used the VA resources that we referred them
Yeah.
to and were able to acquire a home.
But
And others have been relocated so far. I'm only aware of one that we're still in process with.
okay, good.
And that same address where the one
Yeah.
that bought the house, he's applied for public housing and things and.
Yeah, our team did a good job, Alderman, of getting them connected. So like, we've been able to connect some of them to public housing and Section 8 housing and things like that as well, who are eligible for it.
Okay, great.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them, it's kind of nice to see, the hope is that we go through this process and they end up in a better position than what they started. And that's definitely been the case in several of these, so we hope that that continues to be the case.
anytime we can get anybody in a better living place, we're proud to do that.
Okay, roll call, please.
Vice Chairman O'Kane,
Yes.
Alderman Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands, Wilson, Poor.
Yes.
5 yes.
I guess, thank you. Item of information?
Chairman, we have item G.
Oh, I just want to get home and see the election results, no. 10G, an ordinance approving the purchase of real estate for community improvement for property addresses at 636 North Gilbert. Need motion to put that on the table?
So moved.
Second.
I guess that we were talking about that, that's why I thought we were.
Yes, 936 North Gilbert, yes, sir.
Okay, questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands, Wilson, O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor.
Yes.
5 yes.
5 yes, thank you. 10H, items of information.
Yes, Public Works continues to pick up yard waste. The majority of the trees have all shed their leaves now.
They're all in my backyard.
Are they? Well, I'm sure the wind played a part of that too. And of course, we're sweeping. We have 2 sweepers out every day operating. So if any of your constituents mention they haven't been swept yet, they just got to be patient. We're going to get to everybody eventually. We didn't lose a lot of trees over the weekend, which was a good bit of news. I think they only had 2 of them that they actually had to be called out to attend to. Public Works crews are busy installing the Christmas lights in the trees downtown, starting to wrap some of the poles, so that's moving along well. Pleased to announce that we've purchased paint. We couldn't restain the Little Santa building. It had some wear on it and some stains on it, but we did get a good shade of paint, and it'll be painted this year, so it'll be improved as well. That's about it.
Tree lighting is December.
Black Friday, which is,
Oh, Black Friday.
which is, I think it's the
The
25th,
25th
Yeah.
would be, yeah.
at 5:30 downtown,
Okay.
Chairman. We'll have, as a reminder, we'll have hot cocoa and caroling too.
I asked Carl this, and I think everybody should just be aware, because they may not know. You've got a pumpkin that's rotting away from Halloween. They do take that in the yard waste, and they use it in the yard waste stuff. I did not know that, and it's a good service. Put them in your yard waste, toter, and
Helps
They'll
break
use them
down the
again.
other stuff.
And next year, you can come out the yard waste side and pick pumpkins. And I guess I would be amiss if I didn't mention it. Director Beath mentioned it Friday, of course, is Veterans Day. If you've not attended a Veterans Day ceremony, it'll be held again this year at the Middle East Conflicts Memorial, which is the memorial that I helped bring to town, 11 o'clock on Friday morning. Everybody's welcome as always. I'm sure everybody in this room, if you're not a veteran, some member of your family was a veteran at some point in time. So it means a lot to the veterans to just see people out paying their respects to those that have left us as well, okay?
It's a really nice ceremony.
And then there's always chili, soup at every veterans organization in town. And it's always good to go to those because you'll inevitably run into a very few World War II vets left anymore, but maybe some older Korean War vets, and they have stories that need to be passed on from generation to generation so that we don't forget why we're all sitting here right now. Okay? Thank you.
Carl, They taking flags that day too, or is that only on June?
Take flags for what?
Old flags, or is that on?
The Legion, we have a box down there, an old postal
all the time.
box that we always take flags. And if you can't get them there, you can always bring them to me.
Yeah.
Everybody at Public Works gives them to me, and I take care of them.
In June, June's when they have their, they.
Yeah, June
they burn
14th is Flag Day.
Flag Day,
No,
they
we
burn.
don't burn flags, we retire flags.
Retire flags, yes.
Sam had.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a couple project updates. Hopefully you all saw it, but we are happy to announce the intersection of Jackson and Voorhees is open. Finally, I remember Steve called this morning and was asking about time frame, and I think we are a little behind schedule based on the original contract, but we had some change orders. We're actually going to come in at a budget or under budget, it looks like, even with the change orders, but that pushed us back a couple weeks. But in general, we're pretty close. So.
Rode through it on the way here tonight.
Yeah, we decided we were not going to announce it prematurely because the way things have been going this year, you just never know. And then
Really proud, Sam, if I may, I'm really proud of that project too. If you'll, for those who weren't on the council, just a reminder, I found out about that availability for that funding, and we had, I believe, less than a month at the time. It was early on when Sam was here, and he busted hump and got it done and got it submitted, and we got it. So this is not being funded with local taxpayer money. This is state funded.
Yeah, I want to say we submitted the grant within 72 hours of it was something crazy because it was a fast track grant. So we fast tracked it. I didn't sleep for a couple days, literally. And anyway, we beat out a lot of people on it, and then the state took a long time to award the money. So, but we were fast.
Just locally,
$1.25 million. So
on something that's
1.125.
needed done for a lot of years.
yes, so that's good news. Other great news, the guardrail is all in place on Denmark Road across the lake. So we fought through a lot of issues there. Work will continue. I believe yet this week they will be removing barrier wall, hopefully, and, working towards paving as early as, you'll see mills and things like that out there as early as next week to be grinding off the old pavement to prepare for paving. So we look like we're going to be on track for substantial completion, we'll say, by Thanksgiving is what we're on track for. And there will still be, odds and ends to clean up for probably through spring, something like that. But it's going to be pretty much complete. And then the other projects, I know, thank goodness, we finally got the infamous gravel covered up on most of the roads. Striping is proceeding with a lot of that stuff. And that striping it was supposed to start this afternoon and will continue probably for a couple of weeks, weather dependent. But we do expect to complete it all this year. And we are aware that it is unpleasant. So
I had the best compliment from someone in your ward, Chairman. I was out getting petitions signed, and she asked me about that, and she was really upset, and at first you could tell, and then I explained the process to her and why we do it, and once I did, she was like, I had no idea. Well, thank you. You guys, you mean you saved us money? And I'm like, yes, they did. They did, in fact, save you money, and they bought us another 8 to 10 years. So then she was really happy. So I just thank everyone for all their work in helping us educate the public, because once people understand, they usually are more appreciative, or at least they're not angry anymore.
yeah, and
When they understand the process.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Should have told her to come to a neighborhood meeting. No, just-
yeah. And I think
She does normally, but she just had surgery, so.
Yeah, and we'd be remiss to say, like a lot of the projects we work with engineering are contractor based, but none of this stuff would be feasible either without operations has stepped up immensely this year too. And in general, I think we've done far and away covered more ground than what we have historically and expect to do that. So it's kind of a miracle we even got it done, I would say, or it looks like we might get it done. So.
Yeah, somebody on Facebook had, how can they replace a complete bridge structure after a hurricane and we can't even it takes 2 years to get.
Well, it's the difference between having a budget and a money is no object approach,
And also building new versus having to rework what you've already got.
Right. Yeah, well, actually, Chief Yates, is he back there? He's not back there. He told me at one of our meetings, he goes, I bet you that the bridge to Sanibel Island is open before this thing is reopened. And I was on LinkedIn one day and I saw that it was, and I was like, oh, they beat us. So you got to have a sense of humor a little bit. in this stuff.
They didn't have to drive guardrails.
That's true, yeah.
So we can have a ribbon cutting and a little parade when the bridge opens and.
I don't know. I might just take a nap.
Okay.
go fishing.
Alderman Bouchard.
This is kind of off the subject. My oldest daughter lives in Cape Coral, Fort Myers. She called about 4 o'clock our time today. She said there's only 2 voting booths open in Cape Coral for voters. Yeah, 2 booths open. And she said a lot of places you can't get to them, normally where there was voting booths, you couldn't have gotten to them anyway. She said even in her residential area, she said it's just unbelievable. She said just getting out of the drive and going to work and everything. So just want to pass that on about the voting.
Snowstorms on the West Coast. Yeah, hurricanes on the Florida.
Another one heading that way in there.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, everybody. Public Works. Item number 11, there is no need for closed session. Item number 12, we have discussion of the 2023-2024 budget and 2022 tax levy.
Before I go into just a few updates, were there any questions as you reviewed the draft budget or capital improvement plan that I can answer this evening? Okay. So you will be receiving a second draft budget, and in probably 2 weeks, with updated general liability and work comp insurance rates, obviously. We weren't expecting an increase quite that big. So that will be reflected in the budget. We'll have to move money around. We'll be completed with open enrollment after I bring the second draft to you. As we've mentioned in the past, we budget on an individual employee basis. So every single employee's options for health insurance are plugged into the budget. So we will be updating that once we're done with open enrollment, which is currently underway. Yeah, those are the 2 big changes offhand. So if you have any questions or would like a one-on-one session with me to go through the budget, if you have questions, if you're shy to ask in the open format, don't hesitate to schedule that with me. I'll be happy to make time.
Are we going to have any study sessions, or only if needed?
If needed, only if needed.
And Alderman Ford, you're up to speed on that stuff, on the budget and tax levy? Okay. I mean, not up to, I mean, you have that information. You're never up to speed.
No, you never catch up.
And just one other, that reminds me. So the draft budget, the capital improvement plan, the draft levy, those are all available on the city website. Anyone can access that. That's not just something aldermen, this is for the public's benefit. It's not just something aldermen have. Any citizen in or outside of Danville can access that information, so.
Okay, any questions for Comptroller?
On the city website, there's some old budgets too, that you can compare old to new.
Well, you see the current budget,
Well, there's
how
some
it is
older
with this,
budgets,
older
too.
ones too, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Comptroller Ash. We will, items of information, anybody? Other than, we have the Veterans Day ceremony Friday, and the parade and day after Thanksgiving. Festival of Trees coming up, starting with the gala on Friday and then start Saturday.
That reminded me, Alderman, our city electrician came into me before the end of the day today and informed me that Ameren is going to be doing some work, and we'll have all the power shut off sort of in the downtown, but it's going to be during the evening. And tomorrow night, I believe it's tomorrow night, we will have a generator to run the stoplights, and then they're also backup battery power to them as well. But it'll be dark downtown here and around the Civic Center. One of these lines runs underneath it apparently. But that's all work being done by Ameren, so.
Is it, I know the Civic Center has a generator, that's just for their lighting outside?
Yeah, yeah. We'll control the traffic lights. You just won't have no street lights anywhere for a while.
Anybody, anything? Okay, committee members' comments? Alderman Ford? Anything? First meeting, first Public Works meeting? My goodness. Welcome to the committee. These are a little looser than the city council meetings. But welcome aboard. Seeing no other comments, having satisfied the agenda, need a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Well, good, I might be able to get my granddaughter back in time for that
Sure, no problem.
Veterans Day ceremony. Get her at 8.
Oh, yeah.